we are now inside of my AdWords account. Now, notice that this is pretty much a blank account. I have a bunch of campaigns. I've deactivated them all so you can make it easier for you to see what we're doing. So we're inside my account. Now, let's create a new campaign. Now we have two options. We have keyword targeted. But what is this? It's called placement targeted. It's been there for a long time. It used to be called site targeted. But it's been there for a long time, except most people have no idea how the heck to use it. So that's what we're using. That's what the system is all about, placement targeted advertising through Google. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on placement targeted ad. We're going to create an ad. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to name our campaign, and I'm just going to call it Google Test. And we're going to call this one Google Test. Doesn't really matter what I call these. I'm just doing this for your benefit, obviously. English has me listed as Germany for some reason, so we're just going to go up and place ourselves in the United States. And we could choose the United Kingdom. We could choose the different places that we want to be in. And it would just add us to those particular countries. And then we click our location. So we're in 4 locations. So now, let's click continue. So now, here's where we create our ad. We create our ad like we normally would. Remember that big ad I just showed you a little while ago? Well, all it is just a bigger version of this ad. So whatever we enter here is going to be blown up. So let's write an ad, and assuming that it's going to be a weight loss ad, I'm just going to make something up. Lose weight now, and we'll just type lose 30 pounds in 30 days. And then we'll just put amazing system creates, let's put sheds pounds. Now, obviously this is not a great ad by far, but what I want to do is just show you how to do this. Now, obviously you're going to want to test your ads, but we're just creating an ad here just to show you how this works. So I'm just going to put dietplan.com. Now, that's not my domain name, wish it was, but we're just putting an ad in here. Now, this is what our ad looks like. Okay, good enough. Let's click continue, and this is where it gets kind of cool. Here's our ad. We can create another one if we choose to, but we're going to click continue. Now, we can do a number of different things here. We can browse by category, we can enter topics, we can list URLs, we can select certain demographics of places that we want to advertise and place our ads specifically there. But what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Google, and I'm going to go to Google, and we're going to type in the word diet again. So when we see Google, there's our term diet, there's the website that we just did. So there's our website, and we have a very specific URL. It's not the main page of the New York Times, but we have a URL that we want to add here. So we're going to paste that URL in there. Now, here's kind of the funny part. Google kind of tricks you, because Google, instead of entering that whole page, Google will only allow you to enter the root URL. So that long URL that I had, we can only enter NewYorkTimes.com. So we click Get Available Placements. We click Get Available Placements, and you can see up in the upper right-hand corner, it has New York Times. That means that we're advertising on all of the New York Times. It means every page of the New York Times, our ad will be shown. And that's not a good thing, and I'll tell you why. We can show here arts and dance. We can select specific categories that we want to advertise in. We can select ad. But also, what Google does is it looks at other types of places that we can advertise on. The Washington Times, the Daily Star, CNN, all these different places. These are not the greatest places. They chose these particular places based upon the URL that we entered in. So we have the New York Times, but let's also say that we want to search for the term diet. So I could search for the term diet, and now Google's going to give me all the different URLs that I can advertise on. And what's also cool about this, is that they also tell me exactly how many visitors that they're getting on average every month. So we can see exactly how many visitors they're getting. If we want to go to the website, we can click on it, and then we can see it from there. Let's just choose a couple different ones. I'm just going to pick some. Really doesn't matter. I just want to show you how it works. And so we're going to pick these particular sites, and you can see we've added them all right here. Now, I want you to be very clear on what my technique is. This is not my technique that I'm showing you right now. I just added these so we have some reference to a little bit later. The technique is really this. We go to Google, we type in words like lose weight. Okay? Well, in fact, let's go back and let's type in the word diet. So we type in the word diet. Obviously, we found the New York Times. Well, let's click on these other weight loss sites, and they're all opening up in the new browsers for me. So look at this. This is the top 10 sites in Google for the term diet. There's one ad there. So now I know they have ads by Google. Now I'm able to advertise on this particular site. So let's use that. We'll remove these because we only want the top 10 ads. I just did that as an example. So I go back to list URLs and I paste dietpolicy.com. Now I go to this site and there's no Google ads, so that's out of there. I go to the Atkins site, no Google ads, it's gone. I go to this site, no Google ads, gone. WebMD, no Google ads. So we've got 2 out of the top 10 for this particular keyword. Now remember, this is only one keyword. But let's see if we can get the other one to allow us to advertise on it as well too. Okay, see, now this is really important. See, even though that one had advertising on it, that one doesn't let us advertise on it. And that's natural. Not all sites will let you do this type of advertising. So what do we do with it? We just get rid of it. But let's just advertise on our New York Times site. Now, here's what we have next. Now, we can choose a number of different sites. In fact, let's just choose some other sites because I want to show you something kind of cool with this. And again, I'm just searching for this again. Same thing I just did. I'm just going to choose a number of different sites to add so we get some reference here. Now, we have 2 options. The 2 options are CPM, which is cost per impression, or CPC, which is cost per click. Now, don't choose cost per click because now you're just doing Google AdWords again. What you want to do is do cost per impression, CPM, because CPM simply states that we only pay one price for 1,000 clicks. For example, if I say I'm willing to pay $3 per 1,000 clicks, then that makes it really easy for me to advertise. So that means I'd be paying no matter what. If I had 500 clicks out of 1,000 people viewing my ad, I still only pay $3. If I have 1,000 people visit my site, if I had 100% click-through rate, I still only pay $3. So we want to go on the cost per 1,000. We're going to pay less money for our advertising. In fact, I want you to think about this. By using this one technique, I've lowered my advertising costs to 1/10 of what it normally would be with pay-per-click advertising. So again, cost per impression is very important. Now, we click cost per impression. Here's our sites. We could advertise on a number of different sites here. And I am going to enter my daily budget of, I don't know, let's just say $50. Now, look down here. It tells us that our maximum CPM, meaning how much do we want to pay per 1,000 impressions? It starts you off at 25 cents. Well, maybe 25 cents is not enough, so because it says long shot. Now, at 50 cents, it goes to fair chance. Now, let's just see, and let's just play around with this a little bit. At $1, it's a good chance. At $2, it's a good chance. Let's go up a little bit more. $3 is an excellent chance, but let's go down because there's usually a gap. Between 2 and 3, there's a gap, obviously.